this country is deeply divided over the war right now. And yet, it seems that the president gets his way with respect to Congress. Certainly, the president got his way back in the spring when he was able to beat back the effort by Congress to impose limits on this war and to set a timeline or a timetable for the withdrawal of American troops. And so the question is, how is that possible? Given that at this point you have maybe 60% of the American public against the war, believes the war was a mistake, wants to get out. I think there are probably three parts to this answer. One is the president is commander-in-chief, and as commander-in-chief, he's in a position to set the terms of debate. He has tremendous leverage on the terms of debate. Congress does not control the disposition of forces in the field. Congress does not decide to surge them or not surge them. And so the president is, in part because of his constitutional authority, he's in a position to work the parameters of discussion and to keep Congress, in effect, on the defense, playing defense rather than offense. The second factor, I think, is Vietnam, or really the legacy of Vietnam. Rightly or wrongly, Democrats in the public mind are largely held responsible for the outcome of that war, for the defeat that the United States suffered at the hands of the Vietnamese. And the current crop of Democrats are mindful of that and are really loath to allow themselves or the party to be put in a position where they can be blamed, for not doing enough for the troops and for being blamed, receiving the blame for what might be judged as a defeat for the United States that we had cut and run. Finally, I think, and I think this is really important and it's not sufficiently appreciated, is there's great uncertainty and risk with respect to the future of Iraq. It's hard to know for sure what would happen if the United States withdrew quickly, and whether if the United States drew down its forces very quickly in Iraq. I mean, one scenario is that it would force the parties on the ground in Iraq to kind of come to their senses and reach a compromise and negotiate in good faith. An alternative scenario is that if the United States withdraws precipitously, draws down the forces quickly, that it will only lead to further bloodshed and instability in Iraq. And it is not even difficult, it's not hard to imagine a scenario where if the United States is not present, that outside powers in the region find it in their interest or necessary to intervene on behalf of one of the parties inside Iraq, one of the factions inside Iraq, which could lead not only to increased bloodletting in Iraq, but a wider regional conflict. So the problem that, to bring all of this home, the White House is fully aware of this, and the problem that opponents in Congress face is nobody wants to be blamed for a bloodbath in Iraq, for genocide in Iraq, and nobody wants to see a larger, a wider regional war. I'm not saying that that will occur. The problem is there's great uncertainty and risk about what the future would hold if the U.S. forces were withdrawn. So you take all of these three factors together, and it gives the president a fair amount of leverage and latitude in dealing with the Congress.